H1 వీసాలో ఉన్నప్పుడు మెడికల్ లీవ్, వాలంటరీ లీవ్ తీసుకోవచ్చా?
Absolutely, Andy. I mean, there are medical leaves, and there are two different ways, Andy. One is state mandated medical leave. Certain states requires, while they're in the medical leave, that the employer required to pay the wages to them for certain duration.
Okay.
Many states don't require that.
Okay.
So that is one thing which we have to look into each and every state where the employer is located, where the employee is located, and based upon that we have to determine whether the employer is required to pay the wages or not during the medical leave which they're claiming. Voluntary leave of absence without pay can be always be taken by the employee for personal reasons or for any reasons if they want to. And employer can actually approve that. But the requirement is that employee must make a request to the employer and employer must approve that request. If the employer does not accrue and if employee takes a leave without notifying employer, then the employee is in violation of status and can be out of status for that reason. So voluntary leave of absence without pay or a medical leave without pay can be absolutely taken by the employees who are in H1B status or L1 status or even O1 status for any reason or no reason.
Bhanu garu, H1, L1, O1 వీసాల్లో అన్ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ బెనిఫిట్స్ తీసుకోవచ్చా?
There is no legal restriction for them to take unemployment benefits, Andy. But the problem is, if you do not have a legal status in this country, if you're not in a valid H1B status, or if you're valid H1B employment, I would say, or an L1 employment or O1 employment, then you're out of status in this country.
Right.
So it's your immigration issue. Only good thing here is for H1Bs, you have a 60-day grace period. For L1s, you have a 60-day grace period. Because of the grace period, while they're in the grace period, if they want to claim unemployment benefits, they can claim unemployment benefits because unemployment benefits are not public benefits.
Right.
That's why. Because it's paid by your employer for the unemployment insurance. So in that way, you can able to seek those benefits. But you cannot, because you know that if you seek more than 60 days, that means you're out of status more than 60 days. That means you exhausted your grace period, which will get you into trouble also. Because you fail to, you are not maintaining valid legal status in this country.
Right.
So we have to be very careful how you do that. But there are no restrictions them taking unemployment benefits if they're in H1B status or L1 or O1.
So, Bhanu garu, TN visa గురించి చెప్తారా?
Yeah, TN visa is nothing but a treaty visa, Andy. It's called NAFTA treaty, North American Atlantic Treaty visa. It's called USMCA, which is United States, Mexico, and Canadian agreement. That's what it's called, Transatlantic Agreement. It's meant for the individuals who are nationals of Mexico and Canada to come to America and work in that certain professions or certain jobs. And these jobs are specially recognized and identified in this treaty by these three countries. So if individual wants to work in those positions, if they have a valid bona fide job offer in the US and if they want to come to work in the US, they can come through TN visa. There is a difference in the process of how to obtain TN visa depending upon which country national you are from. If you are a Mexican national, then you have to go to the consulate, get a visa for TN visa, and then you can enter into the United States. If you're a Canadian national, then you don't have to go to the consulate, US consulate to get a visa in Canada. You can directly apply for the TN visa at the port of entry and obtain a TN visa at the port of entry and enter into this country. So the criteria is that if it's a Canadian national and Mexican national, that is the difference which you have to do. You can file an extension while you're in the United States if you don't decide to go to abroad and apply for a visa. If you're a Mexican national, you can file for an extension of status. Same with the Canadian national also. But if they want to go abroad, they can again go abroad, again seek an admission at the port of entry and get a new visa and then come into this country also. If they're Canadian national, if they're Mexican nationals, they have to go abroad and then come back into this country. If point is, it's also employer specific visa only. If you're in TN visa, if you're not employed with that employer, then you're out of status again. So it's very, very important TN visa holders have to understand this. We see this problem with a lot of Mexican nationals because they think that they're in valid status because they had this TN visa with one employer and they will file a transfer to some other employer or fail to file a transfer on timely basis and they forget about that because they say that somebody said that I can work on the same visa with another employer. No, you cannot. If you're a Mexican national, if your employment is ended and other employer is not sponsoring you visa, then you have to go abroad, get visa stamp through that employer, and then come back again. You cannot just go abroad and enter into this country on existing visa for TN visa, especially for Mexican nationals. So that is a problem.
Okay.
Even the Canadian nationals is the same thing. They have to go abroad, again seek an admission for the new employer on a TN visa.
Okay.
At the port of entry. They just can't say that, okay, I have already an entry over here, I have I-94, I can just change the employer. No. Employer has to file for the change of status petition, change of employer petition with the USCIS for them to start employing you on a TN visa. So it's very, very important. But these are specified positions, specific positions which are recognized and identified in the treaty. Not every position qualifies for TN visa. Only certain positions.
Okay. And can you please explain about E3 visa?
E3 visa is nothing but it's in lieu of H1B visa for the Australian nationals. If you're an Australian citizen and you want to get employed in the United States by a US employer, a US employer can file and he can help you get an E3 visa at the consulates abroad in Australia and come into this country and work. The criteria for E3 visa same as an H1B visa. That means employer has to comply with the LCA filing with the Department of Labor and LCA posting requirements, and then also filing an I-129 petition with the USCIS if the individual is within the United States, or if the individual is at Australia, then he has to submit all the documentation required that he qualifies for the specialty occupation, just like an H1B criteria. Everything is same criteria for H1B and the E3 criteria.
Okay.
That means the position requires at least a bachelor's degree or its equivalent in a specific field of endeavor in which the individual intends to be employed. And individual should have those qualifications to qualify for that position. And the position also should be identifying the work location, job title, and the wages offered also. And also should not discriminate about any US worker or anything like that. Employer has to required to make those attestations that these E3 workers are also provided equal working conditions as equal to any other US worker in their company. So all those requirements has to be met for E3 visa, but it's meant only for the Australian nationals.
Can you please explain about U visa?
Okay. U visa is a non-immigrant visa meant for the victims of the crimes, and they are considered to be key witnesses in order for the ongoing investigation of those crimes by the government agencies. And if the government agencies do want them to be present in this country, they have to certify accordingly that these are the key witnesses and there's an ongoing investigation. And once that certification has happened, and once they can document that they are the victims and the key witness, they can apply for a U visa with the USCIS. And once you apply for the U visa, then predetermination will be made. That's called bona fide determination. And once the bona fide determination is made, then it may take several months after that to get the U visa approval. Once U visa status is approved, then you can apply for the permanent residence in this country. But point is, while you're on U visa, it's not a good idea to travel. That's the thing. And especially prior to bona fide determination, traveling abroad might jeopardize your U visa application in this country.
భాను గారు, మనం చూసుకున్నట్లయితే డిపెండెంట్స్ చాలా మంది ఇక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు తీసుకోవాల్సిన మెయిన్ జాగ్రత్తలు ఏంటి?
As I said, the dependents, especially dependents, జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే they have to make sure that their status is not expired. They have to verify their I-94s. And it's not the employer's, your spouse's employer's responsibility to file your extension. It is your responsibility to file extension for your status in this country. For example, you are in H4 status or L2 status or O2 dependent spouse status. It's your responsibility to file for extension of status prior to the expiration of your status. So make sure that you basically have the tracking, that ability. Talk to your spouse that they're helping you in filing these extensions timely or not. And if your spouse is knowledgeable, it's your responsibility to make them knowledgeable. As a dependent, I think you have to become aware of this, and very, very important to maintain that. And as a dependent, you may have restrictions on your visa about your employment eligibility and everything, and you have to comply with those things. If you work unauthorized, then it can jeopardize your future. Especially if you work unauthorized more than 180 days, it can jeopardize your permanent residency also in this country. So just keep that in mind. and make sure that you understand the regulations properly and then act accordingly. And please do not get any reckless driving tickets or DUIs in this country as a dependents, or even generally as a non-immigrants or immigrants.